You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, This Week. Featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Dario Kristen.
This week, I'm your host, Dario Kristen. Here joining me in the studio today is the lovely Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
And the man behind the turntables, DJ Jesse J.
What up?
Thank you guys for tuning in this Friday. On today's show, we have a variety of different topics we're going to be covering, including NBA star LeBron James in development for a sitcom.
Yes.
The talk Cheryl Underwood says nappy hair is gross.
Dummy.
And NAACP meets with the KKK.
What the hell?
Historic meeting right there. But first, we're going to read the results from last week's Buzzer Meter question. Has Miley Cyrus destroyed twerking? You guys voted. You said yes, 73%, no, 22%, and some of you just were undecided at 5%.
You're like, I don't know.
They're like, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure that one
I'm not
out.
sure what twerking is.
Right.
Now, we've been talking about Miley on the show a lot.
Yes, Miley.
What'd you
all the
guys
time.
vote?
I mean, that's a destroyed twerking? No, she didn't destroy it. She destroyed our culture for it because now it's out in the streets instead of just staying in the club. It should have just stayed in the club.
What was that thing you tweeted at us?
Yes, Minnie Mouse is freaking twerking at children's birthday parties because now everybody think it's all right and it's cute to twerk. It is not cute. That is for the strip club and it needs to stay in the strip club.
The only thing I can give her is that it is definitely giving her a lot of PR right now.
For sure.
I was driving over here to the studio and I heard her doing a concert in LA, you know, and they were like promoting her on a black radio station. So that's
Let's go see Miley
that's
twerk.
big. That's big.
I
All
hope
right.
She covers
Doing
up
it.
her cakes this time.
She's doing it. All right, so
What
this
cake?
week's question is today's
flaps.
music a good influence on our youth?
Put it back in the
Oh,
oven.
Lord.
You guys let us know what you're thinking on that. We'll read the results on next week's show. All right, on to the trending topics.
On to the
What you got for us?
All right,
Jesse
so,
J.
you know, is music a good influence on the youth? Is it? I don't know.
I'm
Well,
not
it seems
sure.
to be Big Sean is doing it.
Okay.
He's doing something a little influential. Kind of following in his, he's a part of Good Music, which is owned by Kanye West. Kanye West is trying to help the
Kids
Kids in
Chicago.
Help the
Chicago.
kids.
Help the kids.
Well,
The
Big Sean
children's.
is kind of doing the same thing. He has a he's doing press rounds for his new album, Hall of Fame. But he also has a new charity foundation called, where is it? Oop, my bad. DPS. I'm sorry, DPS. Sean Anderson Foundation. I'm sorry.
You're so excited about it, you forgot
I'm
about it.
very excited about it. No, but I mean, honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I just feel like this whole thing, it's a good idea. Basically, what his foundation does is he, before school starts, he goes to the schools in Detroit and he hands out backpacks and school supplies to kids. And I think it's great. I think it's amazing that, you know, that's what we're making the focus on. I wish he did it like months before his album
Right.
happens to
It
hit
kinda-
stores.
it kinda
A little bit
devalues-
more, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give you that.
Because as your press release, as you're doing press, like you're doing it here to show, hey, I'm here, a part of the community, which is good. Because either way, it's like I hate to even knock someone that's doing something positive, but it's just kind of like there's an attachment with
Yeah.
what you're
Yes.
doing.
Yeah.
That's good. So, but shout out to him. He said, hopefully this is just the first of many events that we're able to do. I want to make sure that when I look back in my life, I did something that I was proud of and that I left a legacy.
Okay.
I mean, I hope
well.
that that's what you stand for, and that's what we're
And
gonna
We'll
it
see. We'll see
continues
if
to
he.
grow,
Yeah.
and yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens
Alright.
between this album and next album.
Exactly.
Legacy, wow. Okay.
Legacy.
Legacy, boo. That's some work.
That's some serious
That's putting in work.
words right there.
Well, someone else is trying to build a legacy, and that's LeBron James. He's been in the news. He's going to actually be working with the network Stars
Nice.
in developing a new half-hour sitcom, which is interesting. I didn't
Very
realize
interesting.
Stars did
Yes, they.
half-hour sitcoms.
They're jump. Well, I don't know that they have a sitcom.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, they said what I saw in the magazine is that they said this is going to be a different kind of show for them.
Yeah, it's actually going to be called Survivor's Remorse, and it sounds a little familiar because He's not going to be in it, but he's just going to executive produce the show.
Right? Yeah.
It's basically going to explore the lives of two men from the streets who attain fame. One is an NBA star, and one is not. And it's how they deal with friends and families in the wake of that success.
I think it's a great idea. I just wonder, is it a sitcom? Like, I mean, I guess there's funny stuff about it, but that seems like a dramatic concept to me.
It does seem a little dramatic.
Well, it's kind of like it's almost in the middle of. It reminds me of what was the show Will Smith produced, and it was kind of similar to his life and relationship with his ex-wife.
Oh,
With what's his name was in it?
with Dwayne Martin.
Oh, All of Us.
All of Us. Yes.
Kind of gives me a little bit of that, and also The Game. Kind of
Okay.
maybe
Combo.
meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe like the original Game. So it
Oh.
was like comedy, but then
Well,
the
because
good,
I mean, he's a
strong
fun.
drama.
Remember LeBron when he first started doing all the commercials? He was
Yeah.
real out there, funny, different characters.
He was.
So hopefully he can bring that to.
It's in there.
Yeah. Basically, the message that he said he wants to get across is a lot of people think that, hey, when you make it out of the out the hood, that you finally made it, and he's basically letting people know, like, okay, yeah, I'm LeBron James, I've done this, but I need to stay on top. I
Yeah.
can't just ride it by with just basketball. So he wants to reach out and find different avenues to, I
Smart
guess,
man.
create
Well,
his legacy.
Once again, we've
Smart
talked about this
man.
before. Donald Trump says you have to have seven
Seven.
sources of income coming
He's
in to be
making them.
be on top all the time, and he's paving his way.
All
is.
right.
All right, well, I mean, let's just keep the legacy thing going.
Amen.
So there's a woman. Amen. All right now. There's a woman who she lives life legacy day to day. Her name is Azzy Myra Dungy. I probably just chopped your whole name up, girl. I'm sorry. She actually worked as a historical reenactor at Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
In her experiences, she, played a slave on the plantation, and she would have to answer questions. I don't know. Have you guys ever been to one of these before?
The reenactments.
The
and all the
reenactments,
things.
yeah.
Where you can talk to the people.
Yeah.
I never really had conversations. I would listen to their little
No.
speech and move on to the next one.
No,
like,
but people will definitely
they
ask
really
questions.
do.
Yeah.
And so this video, she released a video called "Ask a Slave," and it's getting mixed reviews. Some people think it's interesting to see how dumb our society is. Others think that it's kind of racist, and they're mad and they're making white people look dumb. My thing is I grew up on a Native American reservation, and they had a plantation, Plymouth Plantation, that they used to work at, and they used to tell me this story. So when I watched the video, I was like, I ain't mad at her. This really is what happened. So we have a clip we're going to play for you guys, and then let me know what you think.
Good day to you, lords and ladies. I'm Lizzie May, personal housemaid to President and Lady Washington, and I'm here to answer all your questions about the Washington's home and plantation. So don't be shy now. Oh, look at here. It looks like we've got our first question. Go ahead, honey.
What's your favorite part of the plantation?
My bed.
How did you get to be housemaid for such a distinguished founding father? Did you see the advertisement in the newspaper?
Did I read the advertisement in the newspaper? Why, yes. It said, wanted, one housemaid, no pay, preferably mulatto, saucy with breeding hips. Must work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, no holidays. But you get to wear a pretty dress, and if you're lucky, you just might carry some famous white man's bastard child. So, you better believe I read that, and I ran right over and said, sign me up.
You know George Washington?
Oh, aren't y'all the sweetest little dumplings? Yes, I know George Washington.
Wow, you must be 1,000,000 years old.
Old? Well, thank you. I just celebrated my 28th natal day, and that makes me 116 in slave years. What a blessing. Next question.
Hi.
All right.
So there you go. What do you guys think about it?
When I watched the video earlier, I was offended and laughing at the same time, because the unfortunate thing is when I was reading more about the article and just how some of these actors work in these different places, some of the questions that they are asked are so ignorant that I can't believe people still today would think it would be funny to ask certain things. I think
I don't think a lot of them think it's funny. I think they're really stupid,
curious.
Yeah, and just
I don't think they're purposely trying
ignorant
to, be,
to history.
well, that's sad to me then. If, at this point in life, if some of these aren't jokes, then that's pretty sad to me. That's unfortunate.
I mean, maybe she just needs a better monologue before she asks. Does anyone want any questions?
Was that not
Maybe they
clear?
didn't explain
I
it.
am a
Right.
slave. I didn't make choices. I don't get choices. Like, there should be no questions because I had no choices. Like, it's insane.
Well, I think one I saw was when the actual people would go up to the actors and say, "What does it feel like to go fetch the president's slippers and things like that?" And I'm like, that's not funny. You know, I find no humor in that.
But I do find humor in her turning it around
Yeah.
and making
I
a
do.
video out of it.
I do
So
find it, yes.
That was great.
And I feel like it is. Well, I'm not even gonna make that statement. All right,
Now you
let's
have to.
move on from one ignorant thing to another. Dunkin' Donuts. So in Thailand, Dunkin' Donuts released an ad for their newest donut. It's called the charcoal donut. I believe it's chocolate with a chocolate outside. I didn't realize that it was called a
Yummers.
charcoal donut.
Yeah.
And people are upset because the ad is this woman here in blackface. With
Now, is she Asian or is
bright
she
pink.
Is she?
She looked like a white girl to me.
Yeah, I agree. I
can't
mean,
tell.
I don't know that she looks like a white girl, but she doesn't look like a.
She looks
regular
like
black girl.
like she could be Armenian
Yeah.
or like some
Yeah.
Eastern.
She's ethnically ambiguous.
She
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
But definitely, when I think Thailand, like she ain't. I was like, really? This is the ad for Thailand? So, anyways, they're getting a lot of backlash because the ad, obviously, people are offended. They think that it's racist, the blackface, to post this as a national campaign. The actual chief executive of Thailand said, "Oh, that's just Americans being, too sensitive." Now, Dunkin' Donuts. The U.S. headquarters quickly followed up with an apology, saying, "We are working with our Thailand franchise to immediately pull the ad." Dunkin' Donuts realizes the insensitivity of the spot, and that they apologize. I don't know. I just think I can't believe that the chief executive in Thailand said that. I
just
really
can't-
would love to know how how they communicate marketing, where the head corporation is. I would assume it's an American-based company.
That it is an American-based company, as far as I'm aware. But at the same time, every international business is not American business, so to speak. So what sells and what will sell, something culturally in Thailand doesn't necessarily sell something here. And I don't look at that and think of blackface.
Yeah, I'm not actually offended completely by that. The only thing that throws me off, though, if you guys are just listening, go to our website and you can see the image on BlackHollywoodLive.com. But the lipstick is what if she was completely charcoal, I would not.
Because blackface, they used to do the
The lips,
right?
yeah.
lip.
So that's what throws me off with the picture, and catches my attention more on it being perceived as racist.
And wouldn't you think if it's the charcoal donut, you would want your mouth to be charcoal?
Yeah, like
because it's
black.
like-
Yeah, if it was all black, I would have been fine.
Which
with
is what that's like that little hint of when you like want to give them the benefit of the doubt that that's
Yeah.
not what they were going for, but then you gave her hot pink lips. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
that's kinda- yeah.
And
So then
if
it's
you're an
also-
American-based company and you approved it, like
Right.
that has to be in your head. So that
And then also like the random choice of green eyeshadow. I think someone just thought they were gonna do something like artistic and it was
yeah.
like, kind of looks
Yeah.
like blackface to me.
oh,
I don't know. They're really pushing
It
that
was
line.
real on the-
Somebody knew what they were doing.
All I know is Dunkin' Donuts hit me up because I'll work for you and
I
I'll
would
do
eat
all
your
of your
charcoal
marketing.
donut. I could sell your charcoal donut
Right.
without having to be painted blackface.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be cool if it just was like a match there and just like part of her face was like charcoal and you know what I mean, like the fire ignited and
I mean, I would have been fine if everything was just charcoal, like all black lipstick, and like she was just coated in chocolate.
Well,
But
this
so
will-
initially when you looked at this, you weren't offended by it.
I don't say not. I say that I didn't say blackface immediately.
Right.
Like,
I didn't say blackface immediately.
I could
But
see
did you
how
look at it and
was
say
something
this is
else.
some ignorant shit?
No, I looked at it and saw, okay, somebody's painting somebody in black. Those pink lips probably were a
Poor choice.
nod to something that maybe we should not be nodding to at this
Right.
point. But I wouldn't say, just looking at it, that the intention definitely was to put from the influence of blackface as we know it in American culture as a racist form.
Yeah. I would say, once again, it's just the lipstick is what threw me off. That's what sparked me to kind of say, okay, somebody you know what you're not supposed to put on some ads, especially if you're doing a complete blackface. But initially, I didn't think this person is looking African American.
Yeah, I didn't think it
so
looked like a black person.
Yeah, it didn't necessarily strike me as super racist when I first saw it.
And the lips are hot pink. They're not red.
They're
and
not
hot
red.
pink is like super beautiful right
But
now.
this could be their way of getting away with it.
But that's the other
You know what I
thing.
mean?
That's
like,
what it makes you think.
oh, well,
that
we don't have red lips. We have pink
Because
lips.
it's funny when I look at it
Exactly.
on the clear screen, but then when I look at it on these other little side screens,
It's
I'm
that
kinda
all you when all you see is the
alright.
lips.
Yeah.
It becomes
It's their way
the
of playing
covert,
ignorant.
Like,
Oh, well, no, that's not our
It was
intention.
just artistic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But now I have a couple things here that I saw. This will be added to some of the most controversial ads.
Oh, I saw it.
There were so many ignorant ones there. There was one for Kool-Aid Man, where he's like hip hop basketball playing in the middle court. That was voted as one of the top 15 most racist.
McDonald's had one.
McDonald's.
It was a black family, and they would turn around looking at the other black family, and then it says dinner time in.
Dinner time.
You don't have to tip. You don't have to wait. You don't have to do none of that. It's cheap, easy, fun food. McDonald's, because we care about you.
That's
Dinner time in.
That's pretty racist. And then remember we had the whole conversation about the watermelon Oreos.
Yes.
You know, and it's a fine
We
line.
just decided that was gross.
Yeah, you know what? The watermelon Oreo, that one didn't bother me. I don't take
There
that
wasn't an ad. That was just like we came up with watermelon Oreos, and that's nasty.
Now, if they used a
Black person.
African American
African-American
Chowing down.
right, chowing down.
This is
These are good.
That's another
Oreos.
situation, but just a watermelon flavored item
These
doesn't.
these Oreos sure is
Then
good.
we have they have Dario eating Oreos saying this.
Ching with the with the little flash on your teeth.
That would be
Ching.
a problem.
with a cup of Kool-Aid right next to it.
Right, right.
Something else entirely.
All right.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for those trending topics, Jesse.
All right, but maybe you guys want to check us out here at Black Hollywood Live as well as our sister site, AfterBuzzTV.com. We cover all of your favorite TV shows and produce original content after shows for them. So whatever your favorite TV show is, as soon as you're done watching it, check out AfterBuzzTV.com.
Courtney, gossip and rumors. What you got for us this week?
Gossip and rumors, as they always are. So
I
first
feel
up,
like Allen Iverson right now.
I'm so mad you got
I'm
this
so
like
that my
pitiful
allergies
picture of
are-
him. Okay,
said
Allen
your
Iverson. Allen Iverson is back in the news, guys. Basically, his ex-wife, Tawana, has filed some court papers after some drama that they've had. Basically, after the divorce, Allen was ordered to pay $8,000 a month in child support for their 5 children. He has gotten behind multiple times. The last time he got behind, he was threatened by the judge with jail time, and he paid up like $40,000 worth of the back child support. And as of August 1st, Tawana decided, I'm not dealing with this no more, and she has filed papers with the court requesting that he pay the full amount of the child support, basically, which would cover monthly child support through 2026 for a total of $1,272,000. So she basically wants all her years of child support up front in one lump sum payment so she can put it in a trust for her children. I never thought of this, and I think it's a brilliant idea.
Allen Iverson ain't agree.
Alan, he's going to be added to what's the ESPN special where they show the broke athletes?
Yes.
He's going to be, I'm sure,
Well,
featured.
haven't you
Part
already
two.
been
Part
on
two.
it? Like, okay, so I mean, I don't know. It's an option. I mean, it's to keep him out of the court system and to keep that's taxpayers' money every single time they got to go to the court.
It's very true.
So if it can be nipped in the bud, $1 million, do it.
Fellas, I guess pay your child support.
Wasn't he
'cause
complaining that he couldn't even buy
He couldn't
a
buy a
hamburger?
hamburger, but he had all his money that was in a trust that he didn't have access to or something until he was 55 or whatever. But all the immediate money, I guess, wasn't.
So
but
that-
some
but-
immediate money is still there, obviously, because he was able to cough up 40 grand for the back
He's
child
got some
support
money.
earlier this year.
But wait, would the court be able to open that trust?
I have no idea.
That he's not allowed to be into?
No idea.
No,
I mean,
sure.
I would assume on some level with some tax implications probably, but I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. You know, I don't feel sorry about what's happening with his child support, but I feel sorry for Allen a little bit just because of he's had some rough
Of
couple of
course.
years, and I never like to see a man go down.
No,
in
none
this
of us
form,
do. We
you
don't
know.
want to see him fail, especially when he got 5 kids depending on him. Like,
Right,
get your
he does.
life,
Right.
buddy. Like,
Right, get it together.
Stop
His little
drinking.
feet.
Right, get it together.
You need to be out there teaching some more kids to play basketball or something. Like, you
Right.
need to do something. So,
Right, like coach a
get
team.
a job. Like, he too drunk. He won't stop.
Yeah, they said. Yeah,
He has some things
They say
he
he's
needs to get
full-fledged.
together.
full-fledged.
He's an alkie.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, good luck. Get it together. Hopefully that works out. And Tawana, I'm rooting for you, girl, because I would want my money up front too instead of having to wait. So, anywho, moving on to other craziness in the gossip and rumor mill this week. So, Miss Cheryl Underwood, co-host on CBS's The Talk, made some interesting comments about her fellow sisters and their hair. So basically what happened was Heidi Klum was on the show and she was discussing her sons and getting their first haircuts and things like that. And she was talking about how she saves the hair.
Yeah.
In response to her talking about saving her son's hair, this is what Miss Cheryl Underwood had to say. Why would you save afro hair? You can't weave afro hair. You never see us at the hair place going, look here, what I need here is some afro hair. I need those curly nappy beads. That just seems nasty. Co-host Sarah Gilbert chimed in saying that she also saved her children's hair, and Underwood interjected into Miss Gilbert's comment saying that it was probably some beautiful long silky hair that you're saving.
And I think there's a lot on this one.
Cheryl. So, of course, Cheryl been getting a whole lot of interesting commentary on her Twitter account.
And even
this
had to
week.
pull her wig off on national
Even
television.
had to take her wig off on national television, apparently, to show off her naps, too. Is that what she was trying to do?
Well, they said also that
see my face. You know how I feel about
it
it.
aired twice. So they were saying it aired two
The
weeks
first
ago,
time, 2 weeks
and then they
ago.
aired it again
It was
last
a
Friday, and it
rerun.
really didn't get any buzz, Twitter buzz, until
Till it got
last
rerun.
Friday.
Nobody
Yeah.
know. Because ain't
no
nobody
really
watching
watching.
that. We all watching The View. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
And listening
Or
to
The
VHL.
Real.
My sister loves CBS The Talk. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, it got all the flack this week, and she's still dealing with it on Twitter.
I mean, this is the thing. It's a fine line with that statement because I've
no
been
fine
around.
lines. That
No,
was
what
a
I'm saying.
clear
This is what I'm gonna say.
line.
My family's from the South, so when I go around my aunts and they're going to get their hair done, they're always talking about their kitchens and the nappy head and getting it pressed out. And I don't know if she should get. I think what she said was wrong with her follow-up. I think if she had just made her first statement and didn't follow it up with the statement about the
It's
long.
nasty?
No, because here's the thing. I think she was just being ignorant to the conversation because I don't know about y'all, but like my mom still has like my first tooth. Like
Yes.
that's all it was. It doesn't matter like was the hair
Texture.
cute or nothing
She
like
turned
that. It was
into
your first
something else.
Right.
something.
No, and
she
I understand
turned it
that.
into that, and that's where it's just kind of like. I mean, I know you're a comedian. She's a comedian.
So
and
she thought that shit was funny.
she did, and it's kind of where we talk about where the boundaries are. But it's like what Wendy Williams would say, honey, that's kitchen table talk.
Thank you. Your mamas and your cousins and your sisters at the hair salon
That's
talking
cute.
to each
I
other
give you
and their
that.
other
It should
sisters
not be
about their kitchen.
something
They're
that-
not sitting there with white women talking about, oh,
I
the long
give you that.
silky hair is nice hair.
I give you
and
that
that nappy nasty
because
stuff.
it just plays into the stereotype of
Are
what
you
it
out of
already
your
is.
mind?
I get that.
Like, what brain do you have? You on national TV and that's what you do in America? What?
I guess Cheryl did not learn from Don Imus on his nappy head comment
It's
about
not
the,
even the nappy thing. Like, I'm almost not even offended by
But to
nappy.
say it
She said
gross.
it's nasty.
Yeah.
She said that is nasty. I'm
Can she-
sorry.
Kitchen
Can
table
she
talk.
recover?
I'm sorry,
Can she
girl.
recover, Courtney?
This-
You know
that's
what I'm
all I mean,
My thing is just her. She ain't really any. I mean, it's amazing that she's on the talk, but
oh, dang.
no, I'm just
Wow.
She's been on comedian.
on-
No,
Yeah, she's
I
funny.
know
She's
that.
funny.
Guys, I know who she is. I feel you. But my thing is with something like this. I mean, you never know actually, because she said it a bunch of white people who probably don't care
Well, yeah, right.
or looked at it in that way at all. So, but I mean, they're also not going to her shows.
Yeah.
Right.
So, what are you really saying to your peers? Like, how are you going to be able to bounce back from that? You're going against what you said is going against everything that we say here every
in front of the white
week.
girls.
Right,
In
right.
front of the white
I hear you.
girls. In front of the white girls.
It should not have been said on that platform. And then, there's also some criticism is because Aisha
Tyler
didn't say
a
anything.
word.
But yep, and you knew she wanted to, and that's what was irritating.
But would you have said something in that circumstance?
Well, hell, well, first of all, you already know my ass.
Well, yeah,
I
yeah.
know
Let me,
Courtney
yeah.
Ash would too.
yeah. Both of you,
I
right.
would have been like, oh, my shit nasty? Oh, okay.
Right.
Because it's not. It was just there was no level of okayness, and I understand why. I'm not one of those people that's like, if you hear it, you have to say something. Like,
and they may not even be
'cause,
cool like
you know,
that.
they may. I don't know. And in the end, she's on television. That's a job, and that's
Whoopi
a
would've said
different
something, though.
energy. Whoopi would have said something.
Would've-
probably.
Courtney would have
But
kicked
But
under the
that's a
table.
different,
Like,
and I would have been like, "Cheryl, are you out your mind? How you gonna say that in front?" Like, and in the end, it's just frustrating because natural hair, whatever, if it's nappy or curly or special or whatever, it's just for once in life we have women like Cheryl Underwood on television every single day. And it's acceptable, and she's a dark-skinned black woman. Like, these are opportunities that we haven't had in years
Right.
for you to make it. You have a face to make it okay. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not a
Right.
problem. It's not something weird because my hair is nappy and yours is straight. Like, it is what it is, and yours is what it is. Like, and you just freaking took us backwards 8,000 steps just in that.
Yeah,
stupid-
'cause
But,
it
but
wasn't-
once again,
it wasn't
shouldn't
even
have-
like
it shouldn't have
Heidi
been said there.
Klum
But
said
I
it or
think that that's
something.
such a like Cheryl's kind of old school. So I think in that old school, like her generation,
I'm sure she believes
they
it.
had those kind of conversations.
and I
so
think it's her
I'm not
truth.
saying it's right. She shouldn't be saying it on that platform. But I think people should give her a little bit of slack because I've heard that so many times.
well, then why
from
being
people.
so upset with Paula Deen? That's the same exact
It's
situation.
the same situation. That's
Paula
how
Deen
she
is a white woman, and she's not a white woman.
Okay.
Cheryl's a black woman.
But what you just said,
She's-
though, what you just gave the argument for is, well, that's how she was raised, and
her
that's
mindset.
Calling,
That
was
call-
the mindset.
calling
Wholeness.
someone's hair kinky or nappy is different from calling someone a nigger. I'm sorry. I think of those
She didn't
two
say
different
kinky or
things.
nappy. She said it's nasty
It's okay, so it's but she was referring to kinky
African Americans' hair. Okay, I get what you're saying in the racism and divide and whatnot.
I'm
At
sorry,
the end of
you're
the
a
day,
public figure.
it's the same thing. You're a public figure. You need to know what you can say on TV, what you
Or maybe what you
represent
should
on
say.
a national platform. You think Whoopi Goldberg would ever be up on The View sitting across from Barbara Walters talking about, oh, you know, I just can't
Well, no, that's what I
stand
said.
my
It was
hair."
the wrong platform for it to take
There's
place.
no platform for her to have said
No,
that.
but I'm saying if she's having a conversation with, like you said, kitchen table talk, that's a different situation. Courtney, you can't tell me that you haven't been around your family
My
at all
grandma,
when they have
until she
said
passed
things
away,
like that.
was like, "Why is your hair like? Why are you gonna straighten your hair?" Like as soon as I went natural, like my grandma never accepted that natural hair was acceptable. I'm not arguing that point at all. My problem with Cheryl Underwood is that in mixed company, in a platform of national television, when
It
we're
was
in
a
a
bad
culture
place.
right
Yes,
now
I
where
agree.
we're in a place where we are trying to gain acceptance and continue to build on this history that we've had in this country, like you have a platform where you can make it okay, and you just destroyed it. Like you straight said, it's nasty, it's disgusting. There's
No, you're
something
right.
wrong with it.
I'll give
How
you
many
that.
times do black actresses and black TV hosts like go in? Oh, you should probably like, can we do something with your hair? Like, is there something we can do? Like, those are the moments where she had an opportunity to make things like that not happen anymore, and she just affirm that to every white audience person.
Self-hate.
And that doesn't mean that anybody else is going to agree with her or that every white person is going to agree with her, but the white person that, you know, has that ignorance in them, that it just got confirmed. Again,
really.
by a
She
black
just said
person.
it on
That's
TV.
true. No, that's true. I mean,
And that's
I'm
what's
not arguing
frustrating
that
to
point.
me. But anyway, go ahead, Cheryl.
Go
I
ahead,
ain't coming to
Cheryl.
none of your shows because you obviously think I'm nasty. Moving on. Royce Reed is in the news this week, or in the Twitter world or whatever. So for those of you who don't know who Royce Reed is or could give
A
two
lot of
craps
y'all
about it,
probably
she used to be on Basketball Wives all up in Miami. She, you know, threw glasses at people, jumped over tables also, and beat up
Yes.
people. And she was, you know, one of the controversial figures on the show that got a lot of attention. So apparently Basketball Wives ratings are not quite as exciting as they have been in the past with their new season.
That's a really polite way of saying it.
The ratings have dropped. So Ms. Royce took to Twitter to have a little conversation about it. Apparently, she first took to Twitter. The initial Twitter interaction started with Jennifer Williams, who was also on Basketball Wives, and supposedly dismissed from the show, even though she says otherwise. And Jennifer tweeted, quote, "Always know when to jump ship before it sinks." Obviously referring to Basketball Wives show. Then Royce Reed retweeted it and added, "You better preach, LOL, good morning, love, XO, see you soon." Okay, for y'all that don't know or don't remember, Royce and Jennifer weren't buddies.
Nope.
They were not buddies, but apparently they have found buddy land in Twitter land after being removed from the Basketball Wives. And this whole Twitter thing went back and forth. There were some random Twitterers who tweeted to Jen asking, didn't Royce get fired? Royce responded, no. Then Shawnee got involved.
Wow. This is serious.
Because another random Twitterer tweeted Shawnee and asked her to bring Royce and Jen back to help the show, to which Shawnee replied, nah, we good. Later on that evening, Shawnee also followed that tweeting by leaving a quote on from Les Brown about taking responsibility for your life, and it was kind of boring. And then she followed that up with saying that people don't understand the damage that they do to themselves. So, Royce just trying to get some attention right now because basketball-wise ain't doing great, and this is a moment for her to be like, hey, y'all, I'm still here.
I have forgotten
Wherever
about
that
her.
is.
Doing a church play or whatever.
Is that what she
She did
doing?
a
Is that what
church.
she's doing?
I mean, she did one on the show. I don't know what she's doing right now. I guess she in Miami, and Jennifer is doing
Her.
something.
Yeah.
So
All right.
there you go, ladies. You had your moment in the sun. We talked about you, Royce and Jennifer. Good luck. Hope you're the best for you. And Shawnee, good luck with your show because obviously it's tanking right now.
Probably last season.
Oh, tear. Moving on. So, in other news, disgraceful news, so to speak.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Dun-dun.
So, this week, all over the place, there's been some arguments and some fights about things going on in music right now. As we discussed last week, the MLK celebrations for the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington were going on. And simultaneously, coming up were all these sort of concerts and music festivals.
Big
and
ones.
some pretty big ones, one being the Made in America Festival in
iTunes special, too.
Philly, the iTunes special. And there was also there is also a big concert that's supposed to star Ludacris and Kendrick Lamar at the Florida Gulf Coast University in Fort Myers. Like, they were coming. So the issue that has been brought to all of our attention is that there's some very angry people out in America right now that feel like rap music is a disgrace to be on display like this, so close to a time when we're celebrating the accomplishments of Martin Luther King. So Fox News had a little segment. Miss Jamu Green, a Fox contributor, she's a African-American woman, made some comments basically, saying rap music is despicable. Specifically, she was referring to Jay-Z's Holy Grail. It's despicable and outrageous, and it's filled with misogyny, and she can't believe that we play it or that we would have it so close to he would have that festival so close to a time when we're supposed to be celebrating Martin Luther King.
Right.
And everything is horrible. And they went on to they've just bashed the music, and the sheriff in Fort Myers, Florida, was bashing the president of the Florida Gulf Coast University for even considering bringing Ludacris and Kendrick Lamar to that campus. It's because of their inappropriate music, and the concert features rappers who the sheriff cites as being inappropriate for having rancid, profane, violent, gender, and racial insensitivity in their lyrics.
This is a white man, too.
That's a white man.
Wow.
He was real upset. So,
He was salty.
I mean, this is obviously a very complicated,
Yeah, this is, yeah.
complicated issue. But yeah, so they are, I mean, the Martin Luther King thing was right there, and then Made in America happened literally a few days later. So Jay-Z is sort of at the top of the pile of crap right now, getting crap from I don't want to say conservative because it's not conservative. Like, it's people that believes that our music has lost its value.
It's funny, we talked about this over at The Beat. We just talked about lyrics and hip-hop, and I said I hate that they keep tying just hip-hop into it, because then to me, okay, now it's people trying to make it a race thing, because hip-hop is looked at, as an African-American part of their culture. For me, the only type of music, I guess country could be included. Rock and country kind of keep their legends legendary. Classic rock. Then when you move to like pop and hip hop, we're not really paying respects. Nobody's still looking back and really bumping Biggie. You know what I mean? Like, you can find someone, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Come
on, we find our clicks.
Right.
But for the most part, it's just regurgitated music. It's how can I shorten the chorus? How can I make it 3 words, catchy, and repeat it over and over again? Everything is trying to be marketed. And, it is sad that it is around a time like this, because you know, I look at Jay-Z and I think, wow, he's, you know, an amazing artist. But at the same time, I think I sent you something.
Yes.
They describe how it describes the 5 women that hip hop depicts. And
I will have to dig that up.
one of them is Diva. I think it
Yes,
starts.
it
I know
starts
this.
with the diva.
Oh, Phil, you got it.
I think I know it.
from the
So
booth.
there's Baby Mama.
There's
Yep.
Baby Mama.
There's there's the Gold Digger.
Yes,
There's the
there
gold
is.
digger.
There's the shoot. What is it? There's just
The Diva.
the diva. That's it.
Now
And-
wait, but the Diva represents. These are all sexual.
Yes, they are
How we
all.
look at sexual women sexually.
Diva is a woman who trades sexual favors for luxury. Gold digger, a woman who trades sexual favors for basic necessities and leaves a man bankrupt. A freak is a sexual powerhouse. A gangster bitch is a basic, oh, hold on, sorry, a tough girl. And a baby mama is a child's needy mother, obviously.
These are the top 5 women in hip hop. So, you know, and I mean, it's moving into pop music. And then
Right.
even to look at pop music and where pop used to be, and now it's just about, you know, as much as I
Miley
love
Cyrus is getting her street cred.
Miley Cyrus, but
by
I mean,
trying
you got to
become
rewind even back. You look
a
at
gangster
someone like
bitch.
Britney Spears, who, you know, she was always covered up in the right places, but it was like right on that line
was a
to
cutting
go
edge,
to
yeah.
Madonna, and then they're mixing it with hip hop, and
Yeah.
you know, I feel like hip hop gets the biggest blame, but
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like it should get the biggest blame in the sense of this just came to me right now. It's kind of a sellout. Hip hop is
Just
kind of
hip-hop in
sold
general?
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say hip hop because there are hip hop artists who are
Yeah, I was
amazing.
going to say there are artists who haven't sold out. You know, I mean,
There's exceptions to every rule, though.
But for the majority,
We've sold
name
out
a real hip hop album right
many
now.
cash.
You know, who really pays respect to where hip hop came from. I mean, Jay-Z, Holy Grail, you know, yeah, of course he's grown and he ain't going to talk about the same things he talks about, but talk about the struggle that you're going through as, you know, a powerful African-American man in the industry you are.
right, but let me ask you this. You want that from someone like a Jay-Z, but do you think that he surpassed that so much now? Like he doesn't even, his lifestyle is so different from where he was when he started off. When he started off, those were the
Sure
type
is,
of
but he
things
still
that we
struggles.
got. But I'm saying when he started off, that's what we got lyrically, right? But now he's in a place where he's vacationing with the best in the world, and he's, we see more of that side of Jay-Z now. Do you think that he still has it in him to actually take himself back to that place of providing you those type of lyrics?
Do I think he can do it? Yeah, yeah, because I wouldn't assume that he's dumb. But I think.
But I mean, it's
There's a
all of us.
recipe
When
to
we,
it.
when
There's a
we
recipe
grow
to it.
and you grow and move past certain things,
Yeah,
you
but-
don't want to go back to that
So
place.
you're-
But
so
does that
Jay-Z
suddenly
ain't
mean-
struggling?
That's the thing.
I'm not saying he's not struggling,
But
but he's
there's
not struggling
different
in the same
struggles.
ways that
No,
he was
he's
struggling
not,
when he
but
first came out in the game.
But does
He's
rap
not.
only have to be the impoverished struggle? Like
Yeah.
how I came from out of drugs and the projects and all of that. Like struggle as people, struggling and dealing and learning how to be a father and things that he briefly will like give glimmers of and, random interviews about the album talking about raising Blue Ivy and his fears about that and the little song that he did about that. Like those things still exist, but somehow they get lost in all the dollar bills I got, all the planes I got, all the cars I got, and all the glamorous life that I have. Like, that's great, but that can't be all.
Yeah, because, okay, I get what you're saying. He is past that point.
I don't want him rapping about how he came out of drugs still.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna hear that from Jay-Z.
I don't want to hear
He's
that either.
asking
But at
that.
the same time, it's like, but okay, all you see of Jay-Z, because he's a very private person, is the picture of him in Cuba. So I don't want to hear him rapping about him in Cuba. I already know that that's what you did. I've seen it in TMZ. I want to know what you're doing behind the scenes that's going to empower me to want to be in your position where you are now. Because now you're educated. Now you are, representing what our youth should be looking up to. And
new
all
movement.
you're telling them is Tom Ford. That
Like, buy
sure.
labels, great. Thanks. Is there anything else?
You
you
need a
know?
deeper message behind it than what
Yeah.
they're giving
At
right
least
now.
sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, I hear you. I just wonder, like I was saying, do those guys, have they moved so past that so far. Kanye, all of them.
Oh,
you
they
know?
have. I mean,
You're gonna have to. I feel like you're
going
gonna have to find that from a newer generation. But then the new generation is not gonna
do
be
they
rapping
learn?
about that. They're gonna be rapping
Because they're
more
rapping to
about.
get, because it also becomes about the corporation.
It's about the
Because
corporation,
they're like,
right.
okay,
They're
this
rapping about
sells
Molly.
now, so we're rapping about Molly and all of our cash money and hoes. Like, well, that's kind of old, I guess, but.
Yeah, you can put the timestamp on it.
I just meant money and hoes.
I got you. I was with you,
but
Courtney. I was
Young
with
money.
you. Young money, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a.
I mean, we're in
argument.
a difficult place with music right now, you know. So especially with hip hop. So
Well-
I don't know. Actually don't know where we can go from here.
I mean, my thing is this. All right, Big Sean, love that you're out in Detroit doing it, giving kids, you know.
Write a song about it.
That's all.
Because you
I'm
don't tell me
looking
you
for.
ain't meet a kid that like touched you, like you didn't see Detroit and be moved like that.
Like-
Like I think that's what we've lost, because that's what a lot of this argument was about, because obviously the music of the 60s and like what was going on when Martin Luther King was marching and all of that musically was an amazing sort of reflection of what the world was like.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's probably what we are lacking right now. It's not about what, I mean, I guess it kind of is, but it's sort of the superficial world that we've all sort of bought into with this whole celebrity and money thing in this country. And we've lost the fact that, you know, Detroit's falling apart right now, but there's still beauty there, but that's a story to be told. And like there's just things that we are missing in our music.
We're reliving the Great Depression.
We are reliving that.
And we've created this Hollywood world to distract us by it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to, at this point, I think that people don't feel like they want to hear about the struggle because they're struggling all day at work.
Right.
So yeah, I want to see Beyonce dance in something shiny and look sexy. You
Right.
know, that's
People want to
that's where
lose
switch
the realm
needs
of
to make.
reality.
Mhm.
You know, you don't want to base in that negative part. But now let me ask you this though: do you guys think that this will be like a bubble where we're headed with hip hop? Like it's eventually gonna explode and go back to what we originally, some of the things you want to hear that you're talking about right now? Do you think we could ever get back to that type of place?
I feel like if you check out long enough, you lose yourself.
Yeah.
And once you're lost, you're lost. So I don't know if that time has come or if it's on the way, but I think we're in, and I think that ironically is actually a reflection of sort of where this country is right now.
Yeah.
Like, how long are we going to keep checking out? How long are we going to keep medicating ourselves? How long are we going to keep pretending like certain problems don't exist until it's not fixable?
Yeah. All right. Well, we need a couple more hours and
That's
days
a
and
long
years to discuss
conversation.
the rest of that. But thank you, Courtney, for that gossip and rumors for this week.
Yeah.
If you guys want to continue hearing about more things in music, you should check out one of our new shows, which Jesse is the lead host on.
Number one on iTunes.
Number one on iTunes this week, The Beat. You can go to iTunes and you can download that show and many of our others on Black Hollywood Live, such as Portraits, Fashion 411, Stand Up, Sit Down. Next. Justice is Served. And a couple others will be there too. So we love for you guys to go there, give us a rating, comment, tell a friend. We definitely pay attention to what you guys have to say. We want to continue to make this the best network for you to directly go to hear all of the information and entertainment and the goodies. All right. Well, I have an interesting story to start off
You have
with.
a couple.
I have a couple, yeah.
Fun
I get all the racial generated stories this week. Okay, so Freedom House Church in Charlotte, North Carolina is under fire for requesting their white greeters to be the only people that people see
So messed
during a
up.
Sunday service. Apparently, their African-American pastor, Makita Pennycook, recently sent out an email requesting for people of color to refrain from serving as greeters during a Sunday morning service to volunteers. Now, her reasoning for this is quite interesting. Apparently, they have been trying to, the church is diverse.
Yes.
A lot of people of color, and they would like to invite more
More
white
white
people
people.
to come into the church. So this is what Makita had to say about justifying her reason for sending this email.
Come on.
First
Makita.
impressions matter, and that the congregation wanted the best of the best on the front door. So we would like to ask that only white people be at the front door, because because that's the best of the best.
Cheryl Underwood go to this church.
She believed this was an attempt to better the church.
Oh man.
Girl, bye.
Now she's offended obviously a lot of people. I can't imagine sitting there as a volunteer getting this email
Like,
from Miss
I work for the
Makita.
And Miss Makita gonna tell me.
Makita gonna tell me I can't.
I'm not. The problem is she said is the best. Okay,
Here,
I will
look at
say
Makita.
this. I'm gonna do a
Smiling.
little defense of Makita.
Okay, I want to hear it.
Cause
Oh, yeah,
this is
very
North
good.
Carolina, right?
Where are you pulling this
It's
from?
in Charlotte,
Okay.
North Carolina.
This is a real little bitty defense for Makita. Okay, she was all right, kinda, in her. I could kind of see how she would say, let there be more white greeters if we're wanting to pull in more white people in church, because sometimes, and this isn't necessarily a racism thing, so to speak, but not everybody is white people aren't used to being the other. They exist in this country for the most part. Wherever they go, where they hang out, for the majority of white people, they are not the one white person in the room, so to speak.
Right.
So I can understand. I would like to believe that was her sort of intent, was just to sort of make it more comfortable for them to come into the church,
So, like-
and not just not people. Because if you see all the greeters are black, you assume it's a black church, and that was her goal. And her problem, obviously,
The best of
is
the
that
best.
she made it about the best,
The best of the best.
which doesn't
Yeah,
really
I have a
qualify
big problem with that one.
that. So that makes it seem like she's going somewhere else. But I would like to believe that her goal.
So kind of, you're basically saying, oh look, there's white people over there doing it. We can do it too.
Yeah,
Like follow
like
the leader.
it's sort of follow the
Okay.
leader, and it's like it's and I don't.
I
mean,
could see
obviously
that
I can't
marketing-wise,
speak-
I
Yeah,
could
and
see
I
that.
can't speak for all white people, but I can speak from being the only black person growing up constantly only around white people.
Right.
I'm perfectly accustomed to it. Like
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
understand.
phase me to walk into a restaurant and see that I'm the only black person there. There are plenty of white people that would not go into a restaurant
That's
with
true.
only black people. It would make them uncomfortable. I have lots of them that I'm around on a regular basis that would not be comfortable doing that. And I don't necessarily think, I just think it's just not a part of their existence often in this country, or often enough.
And
in
it's
this country.
marketing.
It's marketing, but here's my problem with it. Then don't just have it where it's only white people. You can't tell me that she couldn't have had a couple other people of color mixed in with
Get an Asian
maybe
girl
a
out there.
few more
Okay, well,
white
we know,
people.
obviously,
You have to
we could
say
qualify
that
it, like-
everybody has to be
We
white
ain't saying
at
Makita
the.
had it all right.
That's ignorant. That's pure. We're talking about.
Look at this picture. I just want the best of the best.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, we're talking about Cheryl and all these other things. This is just as ignorant.
Sure. That's why I said, does Cheryl go to this church where she is brainwashed to think certain things? Like, that's my question.
I'm gonna give Makita the benefit of the doubt
Alright,
that she
you give
just
her that.
was a little
No, there's no benefit of the
inappropriate
doubt.
in that note, and that her intentions were.
Well, Makita has
Talking about, but
offended-
the name of it, Freedom House. Like,
Freedom
girl,
House. Right, that
bye.
doesn't go together. Right. Now, Makita obviously has offended a lot of the volunteers, and she has apologized, but,
Why is it got to be a white circle?
you know.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
You
I don't know.
are stupid.
Well, maybe she should call professor and activist Cornel West to come
Oh,
to her
Cornell,
church.
you just keep on running off at the mouth.
Yeah, Cornell made headlines again this week. He's at it again. He has made some serious comments about our man Al Sharpton. Is following this week after the anniversary on the 50th March on Washington. Mr. Cornel West had a couple things to say about Obama's administration and Al Sharpton. We have a little audio clip that we'll play for you.
But you didn't get a chance to hear them. But for the most part, Brother Martin himself, I think, would have been turning over in his graves. He wants people to talk about Wall Street criminality. He wants people to talk about war crimes with drones dropping bombs on innocent people. He wants people to talk about the new Jim Crow and the privatization of education and the various ways in which the well-to-do, the oligarchs and plutocrats are getting away with murder. You didn't hear that whatsoever. You not only got to tame Martin Luther King Jr., but there was a real sense in which who he really was at the end of his life hardly surfaced at all. And we saw, of course, the coronation of the bona fide house Negro of the Obama plantation, our dear brother Al Sharpton, supported by the Michael Dysons and others who have really prostituted themselves intellectually in a very, very ugly and vicious way.
Okay, in case you missed that,
He's verbally aggressive
He-
all the time.
he called Al Sharpton a bona fide House Negro of the Obama administration. There were a couple other things if you
Prostituted
missed,
himself.
and who
He's a
prostituted
plantation.
himself with Michael Dyson. If you missed a couple of the other highlights, he basically said that Martin Luther King would be turning over in his grave after following these speeches that were taking place during the March on Washington anniversary. He wants people to talk more about war crimes. He said that people should be talking more about the drone dropping bombs on innocent people, the new Jim Crow, and education. So he felt that basically Obama's speech and Al Sharpton's speech were nothing of importance during this march. He felt like we should be getting more into the issues of what Martin Luther King had professed back in the 60s, and that we have basically just generated a new generation of people who are just figureheads and not really making things happen. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't entirely disagree
Yeah.
with Cornell. Cornell just doesn't always verbalize everything in the best way, I think. I mean, I think we kind of talked about this last week, maybe. I don't really look to Al Sharpton as the leader of the next wave of what we need to be doing in this country in regards to race and education. And in fact, at this point, I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody. Al Sharpton is kind of like historic, yes, but somewhat laughable.
Yeah, because I was
now.
just gonna say, honestly, guys.
But he's always still called.
But
He's
to
always
put
been,
He's
but
always
it's
still
very,
called.
But it's cartoonish
but to
almost.
put him with the likes of Martin Luther King, like I don't know,
I think it's like history, because of history, he is branded as this leader that we want right now, or that we
Well, we don't have
should
anybody.
have.
We don't really have anybody
That's the
else.
point. Like, I think we don't have anybody. I don't think he is it. I think he is just a piece
him
of
and
our,
Jesse.
It's our history, that they're our history, and they only did what they could do, and I think all that was just not their calling. But I don't know.
I like that. That was not. It's not their call.
It's not their call. Like, they're not.
I do get like the drone thing about that they're just talking drones. They don't move me. I don't know if you guys have ever felt moved. Like they're.
I usually can't understand Jesse, even when he's.
But okay, but here's my thing. So Cornel West is basically saying that during this march, where we're celebrating Martin Luther King's 50, the March on Washington, that this is the platform
Yes.
where these issues should have been brought up.
I agree.
I don't know if all of these issues should have been brought
Yeah.
up at that particular time. We already know that Obama's dealing with so many other things. I agree that maybe there was a little bit more fluff that could have.
course.
There are things that could have been addressed more during those speeches, but I don't believe that everything that Cornel West is saying should have been addressed during this time period. We also have to celebrate too.
I think
We've
that's
come a
part
long
of the
way.
problem. I think that's the issue with Cornel West, is that he does not. He's so about what the issues are, and like feeling like they should be forced every single time and every single opportunity that we get. And on the one hand, I can kind of see where that comes from, because without that, we don't act in this country very often. And I feel like those issues don't necessarily get the platform, at least on the level that he would like them to get on. And this was a platform to really bring that up. And at the same time, though, he does not, I don't feel, especially based on those comments, respect what the celebration portion of it was. It was celebrating about what was done. And yes, we know there's work to do, but that may not have been the forum for all of that to be spoken about.
Yeah, for all of that. But at the same time, it's like almost, he said rolling over in his grave. How dare us to a certain point, and it's kind of, I don't know, here I go with my emo mode, but
I think it's,
you know what I'm saying?
I know where you're going.
How dare we really even keep claiming celebrating this when it's like the arguments that he's bringing up, it's like there's no time to celebrate right now. Like, we have so much to fix. Yeah, okay, we got over the hill and we're in
we're not putting dogs on you and blowing you away with
we're
water
in a nice
hoses,
we're in a
but
we're in a civil place.
We're in a civil place.
But
we are.
We're still fighting for the same thing that has been talked about for how long? It's almost to the point of, for you to say laughable, it kind of is, because I know of Al Sharpton Does he move me? No, he's never moved me with a speech.
Right.
He's never. He does. He gives. That's so funny that you said that. And so to understand where Cornel is coming from with what he called him, is it inappropriate? But for someone who probably thinks this way, I mean, obviously we know he's very strong about his
opinions. Yeah.
Opinions.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at him. Because I hope it does light a fire under certain people's asses to kind of make a movement. Because we're still clapping about something that happened how long ago? Well, how about we clap about something that happens today because of what we're saying?
Well, and I said I get what Cornel is trying to go with as far as like some of the issues that we need to be discussing, and some of the things that need to be taking place right now, but I feel like he automatically is always targeting Obama as it is. We've heard him before. He's not a fan. He's called Obama a Republican in blackface. He's criticized Obama when Obama used MLK's Bible during his inauguration. He recently criticized Obama when he was doing the Trayvon Martin case.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, you say so much stuff that eventually are people even going to listen to you? They're going to tune you out.
They're going to look at him
what you're
as
saying
crazy.
Is important, and people already look at him as pretty crazy most of the time. So, and what he's saying is actually important and stuff that we should pay attention to. But dude's delivery is always off.
It's a little off. I love Wes,
off.
but it's a little off.
And he's brilliant, but oh boy.
Yeah, I don't want to be on this bad side.
You can't tell them they prostituting themselves to the Obama plantation. Like, you just can't.
You can't.
It doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
All right, well, hopefully that'll be, I don't know. I don't even know where that can go, honestly.
Hopefully it'll put a fire under regular people's butts. Because in
so.
the end, Obama's not going to be able to do it for us, and definitely neither is Al Sharpton.
Exactly. It's a long battle ahead of us. All right, another battle. Actually, it was a battle that was won by a particular person. Brandy Johnson, an African-American worker at the East Harlem agency Strive, has just won $250,000 from her boss because she, as I mentioned, is African-American, and her boss, who's named Rob Carmano, who is of African-American and Latino descent, she just won a case from him because he went into a 4-minute rant. Apparently, he was upset about wardrobe and about some issues at work with the way things were going. He went off on Brandy for 4 minutes using the N-word, called her a couple of names using the N-word, and tried to justify it by saying his uses of the word was to convey that she was emotional, wrapped up in her, at least the negative aspects of her human nature.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know he was Jesus.
Yes.
I did not know he could come from the sky.
Then he explained in some Black and Latino communities that sometimes the word is used to indicate anger or it's sometimes for love. He said you might put your arm around a homie, like Jesse, you're my homie. I might put my arm around you. We've been friends for 30 years and say, I love my N-word. I said I'm not going to use it anymore, so I'm going to say N-word. And he said that he's a former heroin addict. And he said that he's changed his life around. He was raised in a single-family home, became a heroin addict as a teenager. Later on, went and got counseling. And he said that the counselors gave him a lot of tough verbal and mental love and abuse. And he said that that's the format that he uses to help others. So he feels that what he's doing is helping other people, even if it's aggressive. Now, his company, Strive, has helped. It's been around, I believe, for, I think, around 20 years or so, and he's helped a lot of people who've had some mental problems and certain problems in their life get jobs in the workplace.
Congratulations.
So, I mean, that's how he's justifying it. He said that, yes, he was a little bit aggressive, but the fact is that's how he was taught. So... But the court saw differently.
Right, because let me just explain this. You were also taught as a businessman in school, I'm assuming, if you're running a company, proper workplace etiquette. Even if you didn't drop the N-bomb, I can imagine the words that he was saying, which I've had my cute little situations too at work. You are not going, I don't go into work talking how I feel like talking. You're not going to talk to me the way you feel like talking. And whatever he's describing clothing-wise, like that word shouldn't even be in your vocabulary in that time. Like,
Well, it goes back to it's a fine line because this is how it kind of.
No, it's not. We're at work.
No,
You're not my homie.
I'm saying it's a fine line of how it went in court because what happened was they're saying the judge was basically saying, how can I not award her money because this word's offensive? His approach with it is offensive. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter if it's someone white who was calling someone black this or someone black calling someone else black this. You know, it was aggressive and it wasn't supposed to be used in an endearing way.
Right.
Let's just say that. So she's been awarded $250,000. I don't know if she still works at the agency, but I would if I was her. I would stay right there.
I'd be like, what are you going to say again?
Like, excuse me,
I'm
what?
like,
what?
record? What?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
You need a new job.
All right.
boo.
Well, the last story I have today, history has been made. The NAACP has sat down with the KKK.
Cake.
The KKK. A meeting just happened. It was in Casper, Wyoming. The meeting was because of recent racial slurs and attacks towards black men who were dating or married to white women in northeastern Wyoming, the northeastern city of Gillette in Wyoming. The meeting took place between Jimmy Simmons, who is the president of the NAACP in Casper, Wyoming, and John Abar, who is the leader for the United Klans of America. Abar said the Klan was seeking a new recasting for itself. They want to change their image up. They said that they want to be an organization that's similar, actually, to the NAACP, with an agenda focused on white rights, pride, and establishing their story. They want the young to know the story of being a KKK member and establishing white separatists as well. In states predominantly that are Caucasian populated, such as Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. He said also that the KKK does not promote violence, so he was willing to sit down with the NAACP to see if they could come to some agreement. Now, what did come out of this is none of the NAACP members joined the KKK, obviously, but he did pay $30 dues for the NAACP, as well as, so he joined the NAACP plus a $20 donation. I think that's pretty impressive, actually, that he even donated to the cause.
I mean, maybe this is, obviously, it's human rights and everyone can have whatever kind of club they feel like having. I kind of like the fact that it's going in that type of a direction, I guess, because it does seem a little less violent. Because when I think KKK, I think like bleeding, like out the mouth, like just savages, like bashing people.
I think of a black man.
I think of just very violent. I think violence.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they're gonna try and move into a business world, it's just like, don't we already have that?
I think the approach was
like he gave $30. Who cares that he gave $30? And then he probably went home and laughed at the whole entire situation, because it's just like they want to keep their upfront. That's how I look at it. I feel like they want to. They know they look bad. Like, come on, like their organization is a joke.
That's true, and it's declined significantly since its inceptions in the early 1900s. They only have around roughly 6,000 members right now, and they had triple that, in the early 1900s. So my thing is, though, I'm not upset with Jimmy for what he's trying to do, because he was trying to find out, how can I stop these hate crimes?
Yeah.
And his goal was to get a better grasp and understand the mentality of what the KKK thinks.
But so how did he stop the hate crimes with this meeting? Because he paid $30, and now it just is like, oh, okay, we don't hate black people anymore.
Well, no, I'm not saying that that's what he thinks, but I'm saying that is a step for him to even have entertained the meeting with the NAACP, and the fact that he paid basically a membership fee. I mean, yeah, a small membership fee, but just the fact that he even did that as a KKK member, it's a little bit of something.
Just scares me.
A little bit.
I want to.
Courtney does not think so.
I don't even know how to. All I have to say is, how can you rebrand the KKK? That's like saying I'm gonna rebrand crack.
Because what he's saying is that he's gonna, but because they were all about violence.
Crack has been rebranded many a times.
He said also they're gonna teach the new people the history and the history to say we're not doing this anymore, or the history to maintain, because the KKK was a culture. Like, are you trying to maintain that historic like?
Right, but he's adamant about saying he doesn't promote violence. So
Oh my God! But is this trying to just? But this is where it scares me. Kind of, I think what you're trying to go for.
It's scary all the way around.
I mean, is he just trying to like look nice so that they can have like commercials and he can recruit people? Like that's where I go with
that
it.
Could be. That
and I don't
could
know
be
if
the
I just
case.
got a
Yeah.
conspiracy mindset,
The
but
KKK is just one of those things like.
like, are they gonna have a KKK award show? Like,
You said a KKK
I'm just saying,
award show.
I just don't see what. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he sat down and they had a conversation because conversation.
Well, I feel like it's a start. We need
changes
conversations,
people,
and
but at the same time, I mean, in the end, the KKK isn't the problem with race in America. So
no, because we fight
in
ourselves.
that regard,
so
like that.
I don't even think about the KKK, to be honest with you.
It is.
We need to have our leaders sit down. That would be more important than
I
the
would have
KKK.
loved to have watched the video to this.
Oh yeah. Well, they said that they had heavy security, obviously, and but they said that there were definitely some things because there were some old school members in there who had some things to say about black folks.
Why can't we see this? Why are you hiding this?
I believe that there is an audio that there is surfacing
Is it?
around that we'll have to check out.
Or clips.
Maybe
Or
a couple of
clips,
Wyoming minds were changed after that meeting.
I'm just saying, if one member of the KKK has a different mind after that meeting, then at least it's
Then
one
it was
step
worth
forward.
it.
It was worth it.
NAACP
And
got
in
an
the end,
extra member.
If you're a KKK member, I'm actually all right because I know who you are. Like,
Right.
if you're a KKK
You're right about
member,
that.
you are very clearly
You're right about that.
not pro me.
Right.
Which
Right.
I'm okay with. You have
Yeah.
every right to be. I
And
have
I will
much
not
more
talk to
issue
you.
with the ones that we can't see.
That's
So
right.
that's all I got to say about that.
All right. Well, that's all I got for this week. Where can your fans find you guys?
You can find me on Twitter at Stuart Stavik.
You always pause whenever I say
wait.
that.
I have to think of it. Twitter, Instagram, all those things.
All
Jesse.
those things at DJ Jesse J.
At Dario Kristen, you can find me on all those things as well. Thank you guys for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live this week. Be sure to also go vote for the Buzzmeter question, which is today's music a good influence on our youth? We had a big conversation about that today. Would love to hear what you guys have to say, and we'll read those results next week. See you soon.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Dario Kristen, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.